Going on to you, Aries. So you have the Four of Wands, the Judgment, and the Two of Wands. So these three cards right here are kind of all about how it is that you, Aries, feel like you need to be at home with somebody. Okay, in order for you to want to be with them, you need to be at home with them, a belonging, which is natural, right? That's something that we all need to have in order to call a place a home. A home is not a home unless your heart is there, right? Your belonging value is there. So the thing about it is that for you, Aries, this is what it is that you really ultimately want. I'm not necessarily saying that you're getting off anything with anybody. This is ultimately what it is that you're looking for. Regardless of whether you're in or you're not in a relationship with anybody. I don't necessarily see that you, Aries, are in anything special with anybody. Even if you are, you're not, in the sense of you're really getting to know people. It's not really a matter of you're in some sort of real established bond that you're talking to the person for about a year, 2 years, right? An established bond in on itself isn't even, I want to say it isn't even for like the whole year, the first year when the two of y'all get to know each other, because that's really a short period of time. Like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like when you say, oh, you only known this person for 6 months, it's like that's not really long. A year is 12 months. You understand what I'm saying? So when you really look at it in a perspective, it's not a long time to be in a relationship to say that you can really trust somebody with your life, But this is what it is that you would hope that you would want, is that you want someone to be able to trust with your life someday, And that's why it is that you're dating, It's just that the Two of Wands represents you don't necessarily think that you belong with some of the people that you have interacted with in the past, right? So you're looking to change that by meeting better quality people. And then the Hanged Man and the Queen of Cups is about you, Aries, need to be patient about that, because if you're not patient, what's going to happen is you're going to be in a situation where you will end up basically accepting anybody and really sticking with somebody that you shouldn't, and you know that. So you don't want to essentially get desperate. What you, Aries, want to do is you want to remain very patient. See, because what patience does is patience affords you time, right, to get to know the person. Because like it is, I said before, I've said this before, kind of, to kind of maximize a relationship, you probably, physical fun shouldn't happen physical fun should happen more optimally within the first month, right? Because that's way more than enough time. As far as if the two of y'all have been hanging out recently, y'all been hanging out a lot, y'all just now getting to know each other and stuff like this, y'all should probably go ahead and have romantic fun, by the end of the month or within a month. Because obviously we're adults here. Everybody's going to do whatever it is that they want. You can choose to put that off, for like 2 months or whatever the case may be. But, what I'm trying to say is then it starts to kind of look kind of crazy, because now it's like y'all are hanging out with one another for like 2 months, 3 months or whatnot. And it's always put off. It's always like, we'll do that later. Like and this is what it is I'm talking about. Like if you or the other person doesn't feel sure that y'all want to take it up to the next level, y'all want to go from talking, right, i.e. getting to know each other and dating, all of that is the talking stage, all of that is the friendship stage, all of that. You're basically trying to hash things out and get to know the person, you know what I mean, in a short enough time, well enough in that time frame, right, within a month, so that you can see if the two of you are actually compatible romantically as well, right? Because when you're asking them questions, it's not the most attractive thing all the time when you're asking them questions. It can be, but it's not the most attractive thing all the time. Like sometimes you can be, asking them questions, stuff like this. So all of that is really about you making sure that the person isn't crazy, right? Like all of that is for you to, and obviously not just make sure that the person isn't crazy, but for you to actually get to know the person and make sure that the person isn't a weirdo. And that, all of that getting to know and investing in the person early will pay dividends in the future, because what that'll do is that the deeper you go into love with this person, if it lasts longer, is the more those things like their birthday and things like that will come up. So in other words, the questions that you ask these people from the very beginning, and you get to know them, if you last long enough with them, it will come up later, right? Their birthdays, Valentine's Day, Christmases, family outings, stuff like this, right? It'll come up later. So so you're investing in it now. And the thing is that the King of Wands and the Empress representing Libra, the King of Wands and the Empress is all about how, and since that's the case, a lot of you Aries, right? Do what ultimately works for you. That's my dog over there. But do what ultimately works for you. Like, stop trying to be in a situation with somebody where, it doesn't work, and they're unwilling, And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Like, what it is I'm trying to teach y'all is, a lot of people online, I'm not bashing them, but like a lot of people online talk about submit and submission. Over here on my channel, I talk about choice and decision making, because it's one thing to try to run game and have the person feel bad, and that you won't give them attention, and they feel like you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna even treat them decently or whatnot if they don't do what it is that you want them to do. But my thing is, that causes problems in the future. My philosophy, right, my decentralized, humble idea, right, that I came up with within my own self from asking myself questions and coming up with an answer is to make a decision, and to have people come to their own decisions. It's not about making people do anything. It's about having people from, their own time and their own dime come to their own decisions as to what they feel about me, whether or not that they would like to hang out. And that's been working for me, because the Empress and the World represents, no matter what happens, you can never truly dominate a person's mind and their heart. That's something that they must learn to choose entirely on their own. So you could use coercion until you're blue in the face, right? And that's what it is that I'm trying to say. So a lot of you Aries, if a person to you isn't really worth your time, if they're not actually putting in the work, if they're not really going to show you that they're interested and be just as enthusiastic to want to be in this relationship with you, get to know you, right? Start something, then that's okay, because they chose and they chose not to do that, right? It's about choices. And if they chose not to do that, it is what it is. The Empress and the World, if they tend to have a habit of looking at other people while you're hanging out with them, then those people are not necessarily for you. Because if they are looking at everybody and they're constantly, looking around, that means that they're actively looking around. They're trying to, you know what I mean? They're trying to gain other people's attention, if that's the case, right? They're trying to raise their own value up through vanity sense, through a vain perspective, in a sense that they want to be validated by other people that they're going out with you. Those aren't the people that you would want to hang out with anyway. And then the King of Swords now and the Ace of Pentacles are all about how, since that's the case, a lot of you Aries have to understand that you have to carry yourself with a certain level of dignity and respect. You Aries have to start treating yourselves like time is money. You know, Ace of Pentacles, the wristwatch, the gold medal, right? And people need to understand that there are strings attached that come with it. The strings is, right? The string is you want to be in a relationship. That's the string. It's not anything conniving or trifling. It's about you, Aries, wanting to be in a relationship. And the constant need to jip or play or con another person out of something, out of whatever it is that they want, just so that the other person can have a sense of validation is really, it really is sad, and it speaks volumes to how dysfunctional a lot of people are. So let's clarify the Ace of Pentacles. Four of Cups, Lovers, the Seven of Swords, and then you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, like the Four of Cups. Make time, right? Watch to see if people make time for you. Seven of Swords and the Six of Swords, and ask them questions and hang out with them. If you're noticing things like they're watching at other people. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, watch, look at these three cards. The King of Wands is you. The Empress is them. But look at how their body is turned over you 3/4, right? But then their head, they're looking at other people, which represented by the world. So they're looking at, they may not even necessarily be looking at anyone in particular, but their mind and their mentality may be on a delusion. Their delusional ideas of grandeur, right? Their delusion of grandeur, what they want to happen and what they perceive a perfect relationship to be. And if they are that messed up, then allow them to be on that. You know what I mean? They don't deserve, a lot of you Aries' time in the first place. Because once again, like it is, I said before, I think Shaka Khan, R.I.P., rest in peace. Shaka Khan was an Aries, as a matter of fact. Martin Lawrence is an Aries. Robert Downey Jr. Who's the MMA fighter who went up against Chris Cyborg? Oh, I forgot their name. But anyway, she's an Aries. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all are very industrious. Kirsten Stewart is an Aries. A lot of y'all are very industrious. Y'all know how to, and it goes deeper than just money, right? Like, it's deeper than money. I'm talking about it from a perspective of, like, you know, to get to know a lot of you Aries. You know, a lot of y'all, when y'all minds and y'all hearts are in the correct place, y'all are very beautiful people, you know, internally as well as out. A lot of people don't know that a lot of you Aries be having talents when y'all minds and y'all heart are in the correct place. A lot of people wouldn't know. A lot of y'all like Libran things. You know what I mean? Y'all like to paint. Y'all like to do stuff like that. But a lot of people wouldn't know that unless they took the time to get to know you.